Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. As usual, at the end of every month, I give a status update on my spending as part of my Money Diaries series. Money Diaries is a year-long project of sorts where I aim to cut back on what I consider to be unnecessary spending in order to reach my other financial goals. I have a video on my channel where I outline my low-buy-year project and also a playlist with all my past Money Diaries videos, and I'll link that in the description. This video will be sectioned into specific topics. So firstly, I will of course go through my expenses and then I'll go into my budget for May. And at the end is usually all the updates I have for you all or any thoughts that I want to share. You can find specific timestamps in the description below. This is the 4th Money Diaries video I've made so far, and that's already a third of the year. So I think I'd like to give an update on how it's been going so far, this project of spending less and being more intentional with my money. On that note, I was also thinking that I'd like to make this series a slightly more personal one, where it's not just me reading out to you what I spend and how I'm going to budget for next month. I also want to share some updates about my life. Since these videos mark the end of each month, I thought that it'll be good for me to look back on these videos, not just to track my spending, but also to record down the main events or themes of the month to see where my mindset is at. And hopefully, if you're following along this series with me, I hope that it gives you a better sense of who I am as a person, because who I am, my personality, my priorities, my fixations, all of that influences the choices and decisions I make when it comes to money, and these choices are not just made in a vacuum of circumstance. This is all just a long-winded way of saying that I hope you find this video interesting, and if you do, I hope you subscribe and share this channel with a friend. Okay, let's start. For my April spending, I only have 5 items on the list. I have my existing monthly subscriptions, which are my Netflix account at $10, and my extra iCloud storage at $1.29. The 3 new things that I purchased this month are oil blotting sheets for $3, a 1-month premium subscription for Instapaper, which is a phone app, for $4.52, and a Patreon membership for one of my favorite YouTubers for $1.50 a month. I'll talk about each purchase in detail. The oil blotting sheets are quite straightforward. I completely finished the existing pack that I had, and I use it and like it enough that I want to replace it. But I don't consider it super essential to my life, which is why I'm using my sinking fund money to buy it. Next on the list is the 1-month premium subscription for Instapaper. If you don't know what Instapaper is, it's basically an app where you can save articles to read for later, and what the premium membership gives you is unlimited highlights compared to only 3 highlights on the free version. I know, right? It's quite a frivolous purchase and definitely an impulsive one. I remember clearly when I clicked on the button to upgrade my membership that I thought, this is cheaper than my usual bubble tea at Koi, and that was my justification. Of course, in that moment, I was reading some articles for my work and I was doing quite a bit of research, so I wanted that immediate gratification and convenience of being able to highlight and take notes. So I'll admit to myself, this was not the most well thought out purchase, and I will probably not be renewing my subscription. I still have my premium until sometime next month, so I'll keep using it until then, and then I'll see what using the free version is like, and reevaluate if the premium version is something worth buying, but probably not. The last one is, I think, the best purchase I made this entire month, and that is signing up to be a patron on one of my favorite YouTubers' Patreon page. Her name is Hannah Louise Poston, and that's her YouTube channel as well. She's one of my favorites from the month of April, but she's just been a consistent favorite this entire year, especially with my low-buy year. Let me know in the comments if any of you watch her channel, because I really love her so much, but I don't know anyone else who watches her. So 2 reasons why I decided to be her patron. Firstly, as you may know, I started my own Patreon page, and to have somebody decide to be your patron and pledge or donate a certain amount of money a month, it gives me such a deep appreciation for the generosity of my patrons. So that opened my mind to the idea of supporting creators directly in the capacity that you are able to. And I know that pledging a small amount of money every month on her Patreon is more support financially than it is to only watch her videos on YouTube, even with the ads. Secondly, her channel is such a source of comfort to me, and I've been watching every new video to the point where I'm completely caught up with all her recent videos. On her Patreon page, she uploads Patreon exclusive videos where she talks about everyday things, not necessarily the kind of beauty-related content that she makes on YouTube. But because I'm all caught up with the videos on her channel, I just wanted to watch more stuff from her, so I signed up to be a patron. And it's not even the beauty content that I'm looking for, it's more her personality and her style and the vibes that she gives off. And I find it so comforting, especially when I'm feeling anxious or overwhelmed. So to be part of her Patreon community, it feels very special, and I'm very happy that I joined. With that leads me into the next thing I want to talk about, which is an update on how the low buy year has been going so far. It's my first update on the low buy year as a whole, and it's already more than the first quarter of the year. And the biggest update so far is that I'm really optimistic and happy about how it's going. Sometime in the last month or two, I feel like I went through a kind of shift in my mindset where the urge to shop or the urge to purchase something stopped being the default reaction in the face of a distressing or stressful situation. And that is the main thing I was trying to tackle when I started this low buy project this year. I have certain problem areas in my spending, right? Like skincare, makeup, and home decor items. And these were the things that I would frequently browse on Shopee and add to my cart and have such a strong consuming desire to buy and own these things. So while there have been a few changes in my life this year that could have contributed to a decline in my interest and my habits to browse and buy things, I feel like the fact that I put this system in place of severely restricting my budget for an extended period of time has helped with making this mindset shift. It's almost like going cold turkey, but not too extreme because I still have my sinking fund to spend. And yes, I'm still interested in those things. I still like reading about skincare and looking at home decor, but it's the more unhealthy attitudes and lack of thoughtfulness that I wanted to address with this project. And so far, over the last 4 months, I have noticed a really positive change in myself. Another thing I want to talk about is the question of how much money I've saved. And truthfully, I don't think I've saved a significant amount of money. And this is because what was previously money I used for shopping has been rerouted to other things in my life, like therapy and saving up for bigger goals like getting LASIK, which I've already done, by the way. I'll be making a video on that in the future. But yes, as I was saying, the absolute amount of money I'm saving from not going shopping as often has been redirected to other, I would argue, more important and meaningful areas of my life, which I strongly believe will have a far greater impact on my quality of life further down the line. I really hope that I can keep up this momentum and this optimism for the rest of the year, but I'm prepared that things might change. A mindset shift is not permanent, and if you don't keep cultivating it, it's very easy to lose and forget. I also admit that maybe I had it a bit easier the last couple months because I've been so caught up with recovering from LASIK and working on this YouTube channel that I just haven't had the mental energy to even think about what new things I want to buy. So that's also a contributing factor. Regardless, I hope to continue in this trajectory for the next month as well. Alright, so it's time for my May budget, and I'll bring you over to my budgeting spreadsheet. I've gotten a few questions about this sheet. The link to a blank template is available in my description box, and it's always linked there, so you can find it and use it for yourself. Just remember to go to File and then make a copy because the document is not directly editable by itself. Okay, to start things off, I will make a copy of this. I'm just renaming this to May Budget 2022. Everything is staying the same so far, so loan is the same, mortgage is the same. The USAVE vouchers have kicked in, so this is 0 and 0. Yeah, nothing much has changed. Variable expenses, also the same. Next section, which is savings. I should change that date. Emergency fund, same. Oh, I have a balance of $100. So, I think I'm going to put that money to oops, what was it? $500 so that I can maximize my repayment for my LASIK fund. It's just money that I borrowed from myself so I'm paying myself back. And that reminds me, I think taxes are due next month for 2021. So this should already be, I'm already saving for next year's taxes. And I believe I'll be paying less next year. If my income stays the same, I'm paying less tax next year because my mother turns 55, so I'll be able to claim parent tax relief. And yes, that is about it for this month. Finally, some updates on the status of this YouTube channel. Firstly, I want to thank my patrons on Patreon. I have 12 of you with me right now, and I'm so incredibly thankful for this extra financial support. I'll link my Patreon page in the description below if you're interested, but really no pressure at all. Your views and your comments on the videos already help out so much, and just share my videos with your friends if you'd like to help me out. If you have suggestions on the kind of content you'd like to see on Patreon that's a bit different from what you see on YouTube, you can also let me know. The second update is about the next video I'm planning, the video that should be following this one. It's going to be a video that outlines in broad strokes the growth of my channel in the last 3 months, and I also plan on sharing future plans I've thought about with regards to revenue streams, content ideas, and all that. The original plan was for the video to come out before this one, but it made more sense for the Money Diaries video to come out first since it's the end of the month. But also, a more personal reason is that when I sat down to write the script for that video, I hit such a mental roadblock with it and the words just weren't coming to me. I don't know if it was going to be a good or interesting video, and I felt a bit like a fraud also by making a video on that topic. It was a whole spiral of self-consciousness and doubt and negative self-talk, which wasn't healthy at all. So I decided to do something more familiar first, which is this Money Diaries video. If there is something that I wish I could change about this channel and the way that I'm running it, I can think of 2 things, and they're kind of related to each other. The first is that I wish I was better at filming these videos off the cuff, just like that. Like I sit in front of the microphone or even a camera with only a brief outline in mind and just talk and be super natural and articulate. That leads into the second thing, which is that I wish I had a better workflow, which translates into being able to produce more videos in a shorter amount of time. Right now, because I take such a long time to plan these videos and what I want to say, my turnaround time for each video is very long. My ideal situation is to be able to upload twice a week, but with the speed at which I work, I can only realistically make 1 video every week and a half, or 2 weeks even. So yeah, I've just been feeling really bad about that and wishing that I was just better at this. I know that experience takes time and patience, so I'm trying to be kind to myself about it. But I do feel some pressure because there are not just a few people watching, there are literally thousands of you now. And I want to be making useful content and making them as soon as possible. And it's not just frequency of content, it's also quality of videos. So yeah, it's just been a lot on my mind. Sorry to end on that slightly somber mood, but that wraps up this month's Money Diaries. If you like it, please share with me in the comments a purchase or a non-purchase you made this month that really improved your life. I'm curious to know. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, maybe consider subscribing and sending my channel to a friend if you think that they will enjoy this kind of content. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you're taking care of yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally, and I'll see you in my next video.